My friends, success does not come from waiting, wishing, or watching others move ahead. Success comes from designing your own plan and committing to it like your life depends on it, because it actually does. You have 6 months in your hands, half a year, that can completely change who you are, what you think, and what you attract. But the question is, will you treat these next 6 months like every other half year you've lived, or will you make it the turning point of your life? When people talk about success, they always talk about motivation, that spark of excitement, that fire inside you when you hear something inspiring or see someone doing something great. But motivation is like a matchstick. It burns bright for a few seconds, and then it's gone. The truth is, the most successful people in this world are not driven by motivation. They are powered by discipline. Discipline is the quiet engine that keeps running long after the excitement has faded. When you start your journey to success, you will be motivated for the first few days, maybe even a few weeks. You'll set alarms, you'll make lists, you'll promise yourself that this time you're going to change. But soon that little voice in your head will start whispering excuses. It will say, you've worked hard enough today, you can take a break. It will say, you deserve to rest. You'll start again tomorrow. And that's the moment where people lose their battle, not against the world, but against themselves. Discipline means doing what you should do, even when you don't want to do it. It means waking up early, even when your bed feels like heaven. It means working on your dream when everyone else is out relaxing. It means keeping your promise to yourself even when no one is watching. Discipline is boring, it's repetitive, and sometimes it's lonely, but that's exactly why it's powerful. Because while others are chasing excitement, you are building consistency. The first month of your 6-month success plan is not about finding motivation. It's about creating structure. Wake up at the same time every day. Create a schedule that reflects your priorities, not your distractions. If you say you'll work on your goals for 2 hours daily, then treat that time like an unbreakable meeting with your destiny. Don't skip it, don't delay it, don't negotiate with yourself. The problem with most people is not lack of potential, it's lack of consistency. They show up when it's easy, not when it's necessary. Imagine your life as a field. Motivation is like rain, it comes and goes. Discipline is like the roots that keep the plant alive, even in the dry season. The people who rely only on motivation grow fast but die young in their journey. Those who rely on discipline grow slow but strong, and when storms come, they stand tall. Every day, you must train yourself to win small battles. If your alarm rings at 5 a.m., don't think, just stand up. If you've planned to work out, don't argue with your mind, just do the first push-up. The hardest part is always the beginning. Once you start, your energy will catch up. People waste hours negotiating with their own laziness. The secret of discipline is simple. Never give your mind a chance to debate with your goal. Act first. Feel later. Discipline is not about being strict for no reason. It's about being loyal to your purpose. You have to become the kind of person who keeps promises to yourself. Because every time you break your own promise, you teach your brain that your words don't matter. You lose self-respect. You lose trust in yourself. But every time you follow through, even on something small, you build confidence. Confidence is not given, it's earned through repeated self-discipline. Think about athletes who train daily, entrepreneurs who work through failure, musicians who practice for years before their first break. They don't depend on feeling good. They depend on doing what needs to be done. They know one truth: if you wait to feel ready, you will wait forever. In the first 30 days of this 6-month transformation, your goal is not perfection, your goal is consistency. Don't aim to do everything at once. Start small, but stay steady. If you decide to wake up early, do it for 7 days straight. If you plan to learn a new skill, commit 30 minutes daily, no excuses. Once it becomes a habit, your brain will adapt. That's how discipline works. At first it feels heavy, but with time it becomes automatic. Also understand this: discipline is freedom. Most people think discipline limits you, they see it as restriction. But in truth, Discipline is what sets you free. It frees you from laziness, from regret, from chaos. A disciplined person controls his day, an undisciplined one is controlled by it. Discipline gives you the power to choose your actions instead of reacting to emotions. When you control your habits, you control your destiny. In these 6 months, don't compete with others. Compete with your old self. Every morning, ask yourself one question. Can I be just 1% better than yesterday? That's it. 1% every day will transform you beyond imagination in 6 months. The magic is not in big leaps, it's in small daily victories. There will be days when you'll feel like quitting, when nothing seems to move, when results are invisible, when effort feels endless. That's where discipline shows its true power. Motivation will abandon you in those moments, but discipline will whisper, keep going. Because discipline doesn't care about how you feel, it only cares about who you want to become. Each time you choose discipline over comfort, you are rewriting your future. Each time you say no to distraction, you are saying yes to your purpose. And the more you do it, the stronger your self-control becomes. The difference between a dreamer and a doer is not talent, it's discipline. Dreamers wait for the right mood, doers create it. Dreamers talk about someday, doers start today. So, if you truly want these 6 months to change your life forever, stop searching for motivation and start training your discipline. Because when discipline becomes your lifestyle, success becomes your shadow. It follows you wherever you go. The second step on this 6-month journey is to transform yourself into a learning machine. Not a passive learner who collects quotes and facts, but someone who treats learning as a weapon, a living, breathing skill that shapes your destiny. The truth is, the moment you stop learning, you start dying. The world moves fast, opportunities evolve, and what worked 5 years ago might be useless today. Knowledge is the only currency that never loses its value, and those who learn faster adapt faster and grow faster. Most people spend their days scrolling, reacting, watching, but rarely reflecting. They consume endless information but gain no transformation. They hear wisdom but never practice it. That is not learning, that is distraction disguised as progress. Real learning changes how you think, how you speak, how you decide, and how you live. Real learning is active. It demands attention, curiosity, and application. In the second month of your 6-month plan, your mission is simple: feed your mind with knowledge that multiplies your value. Read books that challenge your thinking. Listen to people who have done what you dream of doing. Observe, ask questions, take notes, and most importantly, act on what you learn. The difference between the average person and the successful one is not intelligence, it's hunger. The successful are always learning, not because they have to, but because they can't live without it. Think about how you learned to walk as a child. You fell, you stumbled, you got up again. You didn't stop because you fell, you learned through falling. That is how learning works in real life. Every mistake teaches you something new. Every failure gives you feedback. Every struggle is a classroom in disguise. But most adults stop learning after school because they fear looking foolish. They care more about appearing smart than actually becoming smart. To grow, you must be humble enough to learn again, to be a beginner again, to say, I don't know, but I'm willing to learn. Dedicate at least 1 hour every day to learning. It doesn't matter if you are tired, busy, or distracted, make that hour sacred. Read books about leadership, communication, psychology, business, technology, or creativity. Learn skills that the world rewards: public speaking, negotiation, marketing, coding, designing, problem solving. You don't need to know everything, but you must master something. And remember, the goal of learning is not to sound smart, it is to become useful. Every time you learn something new, apply it within 24 hours. If you read about time management, try one technique immediately. If you learn about communication, use it in your next conversation. If you study business, apply one strategy in your work. Knowledge that is not used is like food. You never digest it, passes through you, and disappears. The mind only remembers what it uses. So the more you practice, the more your learning becomes part of who you are. Don't compare your knowledge with others. Compare it with your own growth. Ask yourself daily, what new thing did I learn today that will help me tomorrow? If the answer is nothing, then the day was wasted. One new lesson per day means 30 lessons in a month, 180 inches 6 months. That's 180 upgrades to your mind, your character, and your skill set. Imagine how powerful that version of you will be. Also, choose your teachers wisely. The internet is full of noise, millions of voices shouting advice, most of which are empty. Don't chase trends. Seek truth. Learn from those who have done, not just those who talk. Follow people who inspire action, not those who only entertain. Knowledge is valuable only when it moves you toward results. Learning is not only about books, it's about observation. Every person you meet knows something you don't. The old man at the corner shop knows patience. The child playing outside knows joy. The taxi driver knows persistence. The single mother knows strength. Every day is a classroom if your mind stays open. Ask questions, listen deeply, and stay curious. The moment you think you know enough is the moment your growth dies. One of the greatest mistakes people make is assuming that learning ends after graduation. School teaches you how to pass exams, but life teaches you how to pass challenges. Real education begins when you start applying what life teaches you. Every rejection, every mistake, every failure, those are your best teachers. People pay thousands of dollars to attend seminars, but the lessons that change you most often come from pain, humility, and experience. When you dedicate yourself to continuous learning, something magical happens. Your confidence grows. You stop fearing the unknown because you know you can figure it out. You stop feeling inferior to others because you trust your ability to learn anything. You stop waiting for luck because you start building competence. Competence attracts confidence, and confidence attracts opportunities. If you truly want to rise in life, stop saying, I don't know how, and start saying, I'll learn how. That small shift in mindset can change your entire future. The people who keep learning will always stay ahead of those who think they already know enough. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room, just be the one who never stops learning. Remember this, books open your mind, mentors open your vision, and experience opens your soul. Combine all three, and no obstacle can stop you. If you dedicate just 1 hour a day for the next 6 months to deliberate learning and execution, your value in the world will multiply. You'll think differently, speak differently, and act differently. People will notice something new about you, a depth, a clarity, a calm power. Learning is not a phase, it's a lifestyle. It is the invisible bridge between who you are now and who you want to become. Don't wait for someone to teach you, become your own teacher. Don't learn to impress, learn to evolve. Because when you make learning a lifelong habit, every day becomes a step forward, and the world becomes your classroom. The second month is your test of hunger. How badly do you want to grow? The answer is not in your words. It's in your schedule. Show it by how much time you give to learning, by how much you apply, by how often you reflect. Feed your mind like you feed your body. Starve it of knowledge, and it will become weak. Feed it daily, and it will make you unstoppable. If you commit to learning relentlessly, 6 months from now, you won't just be smarter. You'll be wiser, sharper, and far more capable than the person you are today. The world rewards those who evolve faster than it changes. So stay hungry, stay curious, stay teachable. Because the moment you stop learning, the world moves on. But if you keep learning, the world will have no choice but to catch up to you. There comes a time in every person's journey when they realize that success is not built by talent alone. It's built through people, through connections, through trust, through the invisible network of relationships that quietly shapes every opportunity. You can be brilliant, disciplined, hardworking, even visionary, but if you walk alone for too long, your progress will always have limits. The truth is, no dream grows in isolation. Every mountain climber has a team, every great leader has a circle, and every success story is a story of collaboration. The third month of your 6-month transformation is about understanding one of the greatest truths of life. You cannot build a great life without building great relationships. The people around you will either pull you up or drag you down. They will either fuel your fire or pour water on it. Look carefully at your circle, your friends, your colleagues, your daily influences. Do they challenge you to grow, or do they keep you comfortable? Because comfort is the silent killer of potential. Most people never realize that their environment shapes their future more than their dreams do. You can have all the ambition in the world, but if you spend your days surrounded by negativity, laziness, and small thinking, that energy will quietly become yours. You start to absorb their fears, their doubts, their excuses. But if you surround yourself with people who push limits, who talk about growth, who are hungry to improve, you automatically rise. You don't even need motivation, you grow just by proximity. Building meaningful relationships isn't about collecting contacts or chasing popularity. It's about creating genuine bonds with people who align with your values, your goals, and your mission. You must learn to connect heart to heart, not just hand to hand. Every person you meet is a door. Some lead to lessons, some to opportunities, and some to lifelong friendships. But doors only open when you knock sincerely, not when you try to take advantage. If you want to attract quality people into your life, start by being one. Be someone who listens more than they speak. Be someone who gives before they ask. Offer help, share ideas, appreciate efforts. In a world full of takers, be the giver, because givers may not win every battle, but they always win the war. When you create value for others without expecting immediate return, you build trust. And trust is the strongest currency in any relationship. You have to understand that. Relationships are investments. Every time you help someone, you plant a seed. That seed may not grow today, but one day it will blossom into something powerful. Maybe a collaboration, maybe a friendship, maybe an opportunity that changes your life. But you must nurture it with sincerity, consistency, and respect. Stop chasing people who ignore your worth. Stop trying to impress those who don't care to understand you. Energy wasted on the wrong people is energy stolen from your growth. You don't need a crowd. You need a circle, even a small one, if it's filled with honesty, ambition, and loyalty. Quality matters more than quantity. 10 real supporters will take you further than 1,000 fake followers. Every person you meet has a story, a dream, and a struggle. Take the time to learn it. When you make people feel seen, you build bonds that last. Don't just network connect. Don't just talk listen. Don't just meet understand. The more you see the humanity in others, the more they will open doors for you that money could never buy. And don't be afraid to learn from people who are ahead of you. Many hide their ignorance behind pride. They fear asking questions because they think it makes them look weak. But asking questions is not weakness, it's wisdom. When you meet someone successful, don't flatter them, learn from them. Ask about their struggles, not just their achievements. Ask what they regret, not just what they're proud of. Every successful person carries lessons written in scars, and they're willing to share, but only with those who listen sincerely. Remember, building relationships is not a one-time act. It's a lifelong habit. You cannot disappear for months and expect people to remember you. Stay in touch. Send a message of gratitude. Celebrate others' wins. Congratulate them without jealousy. When you lift others, you rise too. The universe rewards those who give energy to others' dreams, not those who secretly hope others fail. In these 6 months, make it your goal to find at least 3 kinds of people. First, someone wiser than you, a mentor who can guide you with experience. Second, someone equal to you, a friend who can walk with you and hold you accountable. And third, someone who looks up to you, a person you can help, teach, and inspire. When you surround yourself with these three kinds of people, your growth becomes balanced. You learn, you share, you contribute, you become part of a chain of progress instead of standing alone. But building relationships also means learning to let go. Some people are not meant to stay in your journey forever. Some are lessons, not lifetimes. Don't hold on to toxic energy just because of history. Let go of those who constantly bring negativity, who drain your spirit, who mock your vision. You owe loyalty to your future, not to your past. Protect your peace, protect your focus, protect your circle. The world doesn't reward the smartest person, it rewards the most connected one. Not because of manipulation, but because collaboration multiplies impact. Alone, you can move fast. Together, you can move far. Alone, you can dream. Together, you can build. Every empire was built by teams, not individuals. So during this third month, go beyond your comfort zone. Attend events, talk to new people, reach out online, join communities that share your passion. Don't wait for opportunities to appear. Connect with the people who create them. The connections you build today might become the foundation of your future success. Be patient with relationships. They take time to grow just like trees. Water them with honesty, feed them with kindness, and never let ego destroy them. Because when you stand at the top of success one day, you'll realize it wasn't your money, your degrees, or your fame that brought you there. It was the people who believed in you, helped you, and walked beside you. If you master the art of building relationships in this 6-month journey, you will never be alone again in your pursuit. You'll have allies, mentors, partners, and supporters who remind you of your greatness when you forget it yourself. And when that happens, life becomes not just easier, it becomes richer, deeper, and far more meaningful. So start today. Call someone you admire. Appreciate someone who helped you. Support someone who needs it. Because in the end, success is not about how high you climb, it's about how many hands you hold on the way up. When the journey begins, it feels exciting. Everything is new. Every idea seems possible. Every goal looks close enough to touch. But as time passes, the path gets harder. The energy that once kept you awake at night starts to fade. The same work that once inspired you begins to test your patience. That's when reality arrives with its toughest teacher, pain. Pain is not a punishment, it's a signal that growth is taking place. It tells you that something inside you is changing, stretching, and breaking old limits. Most people run away from pain. They avoid struggle, they fear failure, they hide from discomfort. But those who succeed look at pain differently. They see it as fuel, as direction, as proof that they are still alive and still moving. The 4th month of your journey will not be easy. You'll face days when things fall apart. Plans won't go as expected. People will disappoint you. Results will come slower than the effort you're putting in. You'll question yourself, why am I not there yet? Why is it so hard? And the answer is simple, because transformation always costs something. Nothing beautiful grows without resistance. The seed must break before it becomes a tree. The muscle must tear before it becomes strong. The mind must face chaos before it becomes wise. You cannot become powerful by avoiding pain. You become powerful by understanding it. Pain is a mirror. It shows you where you still need to grow. When you fail an exam, it's not telling you that you're stupid. It's telling you where you lack preparation. When a business collapses, it's not saying you're a loser. It's pointing to what you need to improve. When people walk away, it's not rejection, it's redirection. Pain always speaks, but only those who listen learn. Every failure, every rejection, every disappointment carries a lesson disguised as struggle. The question is not, why did this happen to me? The real question is, what can I learn from this? Because if you learn the lesson, the pain becomes wisdom. If you ignore it, the pain becomes regret. There will be moments when you'll want to quit. When nothing seems to work, when effort feels wasted, when you start doubting your abilities. In those moments, remember that pain is temporary, but quitting makes it permanent. Every champion you admire has walked through seasons of failure. They didn't get lucky, they got stronger. They built resilience by facing pain head on. When everyone else ran away, they stayed. They didn't escape the fire, they learned to walk through it. That's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The ordinary look for comfort, the extraordinary look for growth. Think about how iron becomes steel. It must be heated until it glows, hammered until it bends, cooled until it hardens. That's what life does to you. It tests you, breaks you, reshapes you, and rebuilds you until you become unbreakable. You might not see progress every day, but the struggle is building something invisible: endurance, patience, focus. You're not just building skills, you're building strength of character. Strength is not built when everything is easy. Strength is built when you keep going after hearing no 100 times, when you wake up after another failure, when you smile, even when things hurt. People who succeed don't live pain-free lives. They just use pain differently. When life knocks them down,